What's up everybody, it's Rob from Combat Self-Defense, and today we're going to talk about leg kicks. Now, I already had this video planned for a while. It wasn't influenced by the Dustin Conner fight from last weekend, but Dustin Poirier did win that fight mostly due to his intelligent use of low calf kicks. So, there's some happy coincidences for us all. And we are going to talk about the low calf kick today, but we're also going to talk about the standard low roundhouse kick and a few other kicks that you can use in your sparring, your training, and for self-defense. Now, without further ado, make sure you're subscribed, have notifications turned on, and let's get on with the video. Alright, so to get us started, I once again brought in Sir Thomas here. We're going to start with the low roundhouse kick. The low roundhouse kick I think is the most common kick to use of the legs, and you can target it two different ways. Most common way is going to be coming over the top to the quad. Reason you want to hit someone in the quad is to either move them out to the side, carrying the leg with them, or come in with enough force that you get in the leg. Some people argue that you can't get enough force in the leg kick right away to kill the leg, so it becomes more of a chopping a tree scenario where over time the leg weighs down. That's kind of debatable, depends on how much power you can generate. The way I'm going to do the roundhouse kick to the quad, I'm going to step my left foot out to 11. Block posting on the ball of my foot, not calf raising like I'm doing a full roundhouse kick. I'm going to pump my shoulder just like I will for the roundhouse kick so that he thinks this is going to come to the body. I don't want him to try and defend the leg. I want to have a free target. So I step here, make it look just like the roundhouse, but now instead of going to the body, I bring it down to the quad. You can do this a couple different ways. You can do it more Thai style where you step and try to cut through, or you can do it more Kyokushin style where you chop into it and bring the leg back. Either one works. I tend to like the Kyokushin style just because it lets me set up for other kicks. I'm going to keep my guard up high because if I drop it down low, I'm open for that counter shot. You can chop it down low, especially if you've got longer legs. You can drop that hand down and get a lot of power into that kick. But for me, I like being here because this is how I get into the pocket. You can also modify it like we saw Dustin Poirier doing last weekend into the calf kick. Not a lot changes except for the target. I'm going to use your leg, Tommy. If I hit Tommy here, I'm getting the hardest part of his shin bone. Let's say I come in here and try to kick. If we weren't wearing shin pads, that could be really bad on one or both of us. But it's probably going to be bad on me because he's got the blade of his shin bone pointing right at me. I want to hit him with the blade of my shin bone. So instead of trying to come here, force on force, I'm going to come to the weakest part of the leg over here, literally into the calf. That's why it's called the calf kick. You can target this actually at the calf muscle or a little bit lower down to the ankle. The ranges on this kick, we have the 12 and 12 position, which is where we're in front. I like doing this a lot. Offensively, where I'll come here and I'll go, let's say I go jab, cross, hook, low. The other position you have is the 12 and 3 position, which is where he's facing 12 and I'm at his 3, and I'm more here at his side, now hitting in more towards the side of the leg. This has a different effect. Here, especially if he's been doing his proper conditioning, he could take a lot of those shots, maybe more than a regular person could. Here's a little bit rarer to get hit, so you come and hit around the side of the leg, and that's a little more tender, makes it harder for him to check. That's 12 and 3. We also have 12 and 6. He faces at 12. I'm back here at 6. Same thing, I'm kicking his leg now from the back. Because behind him is one of the best places to be, right? This is the worst place, because he can hit me, I can hope to hit him, but I don't want to hope that I'm the better fighter. I want to get to a better position. So that's the standard ways you can throw these low kicks from. You can throw the roundhouse, the front kick, any of the kicks we're going to talk about, you can do from 12 and 12, 12 and 3, or 12 and 6. Moving on, we have the exact same kick from the other leg. If he and I are here in the left leg forward stance, I can also do my inside roundhouse kick. In this case, I'm targeting the inside of his quad, and I'm going to bring my feet either together to do like a pendulum step kick, or I'm going to V-step out to the side to put a little more power into it. Either way works. It depends on how fast you want to move. This version of the pendulum step, it's not going to have as much power in it, but if you're not conditioned to that kick, that can be pretty devastating for you. Yep. So if I'm here, maybe not quite as good with my hands, but I can touch that, it's going to keep him at bay because he knows every time he steps in, there's that kick. And if I'm kind of an asshole, I can also angle it up into the groin, but we're not going to do that to our sparring partners. With most of these kicks, with most of the roundhouse kicks, you can hit with the lower part of the shin. That's going to be where we're going to devastate the most damage. With the inside roundhouse kick, I actually like to hit with my instep, because I don't have to commit quite so much to hitting him and get the risk of a counterattack. And I get pretty much the same effect kicking here that I would with the shin. So again, it depends on how much power you want to put out. If you want to have a real knockout shot, boom, kick with the inside of the shin. If you want to just kind of scare him, tell him to stay away from you, kick with the instep. And once again, we can do it as a calf kick. So instead of targeting into the quad, I target below the knee into the calf. This is the area that's really not going to be conditioned. It's very tough for us to condition for this strike. The inside kicks are a little bit riskier just because it puts you more in his center line so he can counter you as you come in. But if you get really good at managing your distance, you can come here, here, fake to there. It's very easy kick to set up once you know how to do it right. But if you just shoot it blind without any sense of distancing, he's going to catch you most of the time. So that's our inside roundhouse kick. 5 and 6 are going to be the exact same kicks, but to the other leg. So let's switch places. I'm going to be over here now, targeting the rear leg. We don't like to target the rear leg a lot because, I mean, obvious reasons. If I try to reach for this leg, I'm putting myself in range. But there is a position, there is a time when you could do that, especially if you've gotten overwhelmed with your hands up here. Maybe you want to kick that rear leg out to move him backwards. There's times that you can do it. It's just like the inside for the lead leg. I'm going to V-step out to the side, off the center line of his face, so I'm not in line of this hand here. Keeping my guard up nice and high, pointing my hip at the target. I'm going to drive my shin right here across the inside of his quad. So I come here, bang, kick, and bring it back. You'll notice my hands, I like putting them on his hand. Let's say he gives me the 1-2, boom, boom. I like putting my hands on top just so I know where they're at. If I keep my guard nice and close and I don't see where his hands are, I run the risk of him sneaking over the top. So when I do this, I like to have some kind of tactile sense of where my opponent is. Changing gears, we can talk about the outside rear leg low kick, which is the hardest one to throw because obviously I'm coming not here, but I have to make my way all the way over here to kick the leg. And that's exactly the way you want to do it. So I'm going to be here, V-step out to now 11 o'clock, but now instead of just bringing the right leg across, I'm going to bring my right leg to my left leg. This pendulum is going to skip me over to turn me completely in the other direction. So I step here, bring this foot in, turn my hip, and there's my kick. Once again, step, heel, turn, and I'm back. This one involves a lot of timing. It's very hard to do if we're out here, right? If we're in the kickboxing range, fighting with kicks, and you see me suddenly break off in this direction, you're probably going to cut me off before I get there. But if we're in a little bit closer range, in the boxing range, it's much easier to do, especially because from here, I don't have to step quite as much. The footwork is still there, but it's much smaller. Moving on and away from the roundhouse kicks, we're going to talk about front and push and stomp kicks to the leg. I like to start with the front kick. I find I have more success with the rear leg targeting his lead leg. This lead leg can totally work, but this one I find I land a little more consistently. So all I'm doing is the standard karate front kick to the leg. I'm coming here, turning my hip, driving my knee, flicking it out to the quad, and then bringing it back. It's that simple. This is a good one to do as a counter. He rushes in towards me, boom, just pop that leg out again, boom. You don't have to do a lot. You just have to give it a good little push with the rear leg, and he's gonna feel like I can't lift my leg. That's what we want. Now in training, I'm targeting here into the meat of the leg. In more of a self-defense or even fighting situation, I'd probably go here above the kneecap, hoping for that hyperextension feeling. When I do this front kick, I'm flicking my leg into his. It's an extension of the knee, not of the hip. If I want to modify it into a stomp, that gets more aggressive. Now I'm going to bring my leg up and push into his leg. Feels like a different thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So the front kick is an extension of the knee. Just a quick flick. I can do a bunch of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stomp kick is my hip now extending, pushing into his leg. The only difference I would make here is instead of hitting with the toes up like I do in the front kick, I'm going to turn my foot to the side so I have an easier stomp through my hip. So now I have more surface area on his leg and I can extend easier that way. You can do it with the toes up. It's just a smaller surface area trying to reach onto what is already a pretty small area. So you turn your foot sideways, then you push the leg out. These kicks to the legs, the roundhouse and the front kicks, I find it really good for people that are very explosive with their strikes because I have to generate power from my legs. So let's say you deal with a boxer who likes to rush in towards you. You learn to keep that leg flying at the leg. It's going to be very difficult for him to bounce off of it and come to hit you. Same thing you deal with a karate striker who's real wide here. He's not necessarily looking to hit you with his hands. He's looking to set up this lead leg kick. You get really good at hitting that lead leg. Go ahead. Suddenly, every time I try to rush in, I'm getting caught on the leg. It takes the pressure away. Now, let's talk about the Bruce Lee staple, the low leg side kick. This one you can do again from the rear or the lead leg. I like using the lead leg because it allows me to be the farthest target, or the closest target to him, and putting me the farthest away. If I use my rear leg, I have to turn it all the way around to target that leg, and that can work, but this is gonna be faster. Standard side kick, you come in here, chamber, kick to the body. The only difference is now, I'm gonna land to the leg, and just like with the lead leg push kick or the rear leg front kick, I'm not trying to snap his leg in two. It's gonna be harder to do than people think it is. I'm just trying to make him weary of coming close to me. The way I like using this low leg side kick is when he's quick with that jab. Here, I'm kind of on my back foot, boom, there's my side kick. Because I know eventually he's gonna put that weight on that lead foot. If I intercept you there, I'm catching him as he's traveling towards me. So I can do this while he's standing still, and I come in here and do it, but I find it's most successful is as I come in, boom. And like I said, I'm pulling my head away so that he's not gonna hit me with that hand, even if this kick isn't successful. Next kick we're gonna talk about is the rear leg cross kick. It's gonna look a lot like the push kick, but there's some slight differences. With the push kick, what I'm doing is bringing my leg up and just turning my foot out. This one is more like I'm coming up and then down. This is more like I'm selling that I'm gonna hit him with the roundhouse kick, and then I drop it down low. I like to put this in a specific place. I don't like coming to the quad with this because I find that the rear push kick's a little bit easier. What I will do is step out to the side and target more the inside of his quad now, so I get that outward fold of the leg. So, it's like we come in here and I go boom, boom, bang, try to get that leg turned out, or I come in here, boom, bang. Now, this is for consensual violence, right? Like we both know we're fighting. If we're talking self-defense, here, come over here. I'm now over here to the side of him, back to this 12 and 3 position, and I'm gonna do the same kick to the side of the leg. This is one of those that can break the knee pretty bad, because I'm not just doing this, I'm getting the full force of my hip into that leg. Now there's a modification for this, come this way please, which is it's not the best way to do it. It's not guaranteed to work all the time, but if you're wearing boots, shoes with some kind of tread, you can modify this stomp to be more of a scrape. So in this instance, I would step off to the side and I'd bring my, let's say, booted foot now, and not try to stomp down on the leg, but try to scrape down on the leg. Yeah, it's not one that works all the time, especially if we're talking about someone who knows how to fight. But if, let's just say it's kind of a drunken uncle situation, I step out to the side here, boom, just scrape down with my heel tread. That could be pretty devastating, right? It could be pretty painful. Last one we're gonna talk about is a little bit different. It's not quite a kick with the foot, it's a knee with the knee. And it's not where I'm gonna be here and try to throw a knee like that, but being a shorter human being, and a shorter human being who likes to go for rear naked chokes a lot, I end up in situations where, here, let me come here. I end up in situations where I'm hunting for this neck right here, and I can't reach because he's taller than I am. I need to bring him down to my height by bringing his head down back to me. I can't just pull here, because if I pull here, what do you want to do?
I want to go forward.
You want to go forward, right? So yeah. I can't just do this. I can't just pull. Even if I got the strongest arm of all time, I'm not going to pull him back far enough. I need to create two different shearing forces. One pulling him backwards and one pulling him forward. What I like to do is take my knee, put it against the back of his leg, and bring him down. I only need that slight pop for a second, right? I come here, we're fighting for this position here, and I come in here, boom. There we go. Now I've got my rear naked choke. So what I'm doing, I'll come this way. I'm here, trying to get him down to my height. I'm gonna take the cap of my knee, put it in the back of his leg, get him down like that. What I'm trying to do is get his knee to buckle like that. Which, by the way, is a way you can also use the cross step kick. But for right now, we're gonna be here fighting and just boom. And if I have this here, but let's say I'm not finding the right position, there's that leg again, there's that leg again, and after a certain point. All right, everyone, there you have it. There were several different types of leg kicks, ranging from the standard low roundhouse kick to the weirder, funky ones. Before I sign off today, I want to give a special shout out to a few people, starting with Tommy, who's been kind enough to assist me for these last couple of videos and is someone I hope we get to see more of. If you want to support Tommy, go ahead and check out his video game, Spirit of Glace, which is an open world platformer, a la what you would see on Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis. If that sounds like your jam, go ahead, sign up for his Patreon. I'm sure you'd appreciate the support. I would also like to shout out Natalie and Ava Solve Your Problems. These two are a pair of super funny sisters who aim to not only provide you with some quality entertainment, but also help you solve some of life's real problems. Go ahead and give them a subscription. And while we're talking about subscribing, I would appreciate if you guys subscribe to me and make sure you had notifications turned on. That way, you never miss a new video. As always, I want to thank you guys for all the hard work. Thank you for the hard work yet to be done, and I'll see you next time.